Alright, so this video is going to be all over the place. Started doing a little bit on the wiring for the battery cables, then ended up cutting it short to go to a car show. So I'll start off with some clips of the car show. It was, I think, the second King of Colorado car show. Just a pretty nice meet. Some nice cars out there. I'll throw a couple clips in there. I didn't bring my camera, I just had my phone on me, so I have a few clips I took up there. Got some really good ideas. Black Monte Carlo up there, it was just clean. So just started looking at that, the build quality on some of the cars, checking them out. There's also a brown Monte Carlo up there. I've seen a few times. That's got some nice stuff in there. I love the color on that brown one. It's just something different about a brown car. So yeah, I'll throw some clips of the King Colorado car show, and then I'll get back to just doing more of the battery cables. This thing's some inspiration right here. This thing is clean. Woo. Yeah, need to get some ideas off this thing. Demon SS. 88. Oh, that center console. Yeah, that thing is clean. I kind of want to do some taillights like that on mine, just bright red. But yeah, this thing. Pretty good show. A couple G-Bikes, couple Lolos. This kind of panel is what I kind of want to do on the Monte, just to clean up those gaps. What size, 20s? 24s? Okay, staggered. The 84, I already know that one. It's 84. Are you good, man? You good? That interior. Kind of want to do that same the screen, that floating screen in there. Huh? I saw the starlight. I know I got the starlight in there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I just love that color, that brown. Yeah.
More skill.
This thing right here is clean. It's kind of what I have in mind when I do maybe do a donk, the white, just all red interior. But when I say all red, I'm going carpet and everything. It's for sale? It's for sale? What's the price on it? What's the price on it?
Tell them bring a 50 or best offer.
50 or best offer?
Everything original. AC blow cold.
How'd I get a hold of you?
The AC blow cold.
You got a drop top, man. What you need AC for?
You gotta have the AC with the top down.
With the top down.
The AC still on right now with the top down.
I hear you, I hear you.
This one for sale? Show you. That white hard top over there for sale.
Okay.
You see the map? That red convertible over there for sale. And two of them didn't make it. I got a step side seat in there.
You got the step side. Yeah, but that white on red, something about it. Something about it. Alright, so I tried to do this video last night, but it's a lot of rambling, so came out to go over a little bit what I did last night, and then go over what I still have to do with the car. But yesterday I was just out running around all day, picking up some parts. So picked up the diff cover from my buddy Adam Dory. He was getting rid of some parts, and I had the 7.5 for the Elco that needs to be cleaned up eventually. Get started on the disc brake conversion. So I figured that'd be a nice piece to add to it. So I was running around getting that, and I was also ran up to Casper's Electronics, talked to my buddy Justin, picked up some parts. So the terminal block, or the junction box, the relay box, some connectors for the sending unit, a wire for the battery cables, and some other parts here and there. So just running around all day yesterday. Stopped by the auto parts store, grabbed some smaller parts also, and the cable crimper. So yeah, just running around all day yesterday. Got home late, tried to work out in the garage, wasn't thinking right, so ended up calling it a day. But coming out today, going to be doing a little bit of work before heading off to this car show. So I already started cutting some of the cables down. The junction box, I'm thinking go right in here on the frame rail. I did think about putting it back here, but just bending the cable, I think, from one side to the other. It'd have been too tight here unless I moved it farther in. And if I moved it farther in, it'd have been too tight on the one to go to the starter. So I decided here should be a good place. I'll get that mounted eventually with the relay box. I was thinking about doing this side, so I was thinking about right in that area right there. So that's what I'm still thinking for now. That way it'd be plenty of clearance up underneath to get all the wires running towards the front, tie in the electric fans and the transmission cooler at the bottom, and just have it. It's out of the way. With the sealed box, everything will still look clean, but I didn't have to worry about hiding it too much like in there, because the intercooler piping still gonna have to come out. So that's what I decided. I'll probably mount it there, take advantage of one of those holes, and just have to make one more. So that's what I'm thinking for now. I know the wires from the Terminator X, a couple of them are gonna have to run over here to activate the relay for the fans, so might have to lengthen those a little bit. What else? Got some ground cables. Let's see, some battery terminals, all that. Did grab some bolts for the Terminator X. You have to have two grounds to the cylinder head, so grab some bolts for that. These are a little too long for the space I have, so might have to get some shorter ones, but they're just M10 bolts. It's the right thread pitch for these, so see if I have some shorter ones, about half the size of that, just enough to clear the firewall and be able to thread on. So have to grab some of those. Other than that, the painless kit. I didn't go over any of the ground wires with the painless kit, but it does come with some ground straps for the body to frame, so I'll probably use 2 of those up front just to ground the body to the frame, and then one in the rear, and then I'll also have some ground straps from the motor to the frame. So I guess you could never have too many grounds, so I have to work on all that. Like I said, the cables are just roughly routed through the car. Eventually I'm debating on having a circuit up either here or put it here. So back here, once it's bolted on, of course the tail light's going to cover it, so it should be okay. Here won't be bad either, but just have one wire coming off the battery to the circuit, and then the other end of the circuit will go to the rest of the car. So little things like that, and then trying to figure out where to mount the Terminator X or the ECU. What I'm thinking is have a little plate like that, and well, this would probably mount to the bottom of the dash. I just can't do it yet until the dash is installed, but I have just a little piece of sheet metal or something there, and that way the ECU could sit right under there. If I need to glance at it, I'll be able to see the lights and everything, but it'll still be up and out of the way. I don't have to worry about it like in the Elco. It's just right in your face, so try to hide it a little bit more. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's what I have planned. So try to figure out where to mount this circuit or circuit breaker. So like I said, I was thinking right up here or right back here somewhere. So yeah, the only thing is I think I need a something. This might be just hard plastic. I don't think it might be metal, but I guess like a rubber strip or something to put on the back of it so it's not metal on metal. Or I don't know, it might be plastic. But yeah, just gonna get all that situated. One more thing I was looking into, and I might have to email both of them or message both of them. I know in the painless kit it says if you convert to like a standalone wiring harness for the LS or anything, you just use this coil wire. So I was planning on using that, but that's why it helps if you read instructions. So that's where it talks about using the coil wire for your, what was it, the 12-volt switch or whatever. And then if you come look at the Holley, it's like do not connect to a dirty source like an ignition coil. So I don't know if this is actually the ignition coil or the coil wire. So probably send a message off, see about that. But if I could use it, I'll use it. If not, I'll have to find a different 12-volt source or switch source for the Holley. But for now I'm planning on using it. But I'm not going to hook anything up until I know for sure. So I'm going to keep looking up on that. But it's right there to use. So if I can use it, I will. If not, not a big deal. Other than that, I think I need to come out and cut up some of this so I can make some brackets for the intercooler, and then I'll make some brackets for the battery box. Just pretty much, it sits in there nicely where it is. It is slightly taller than this edge here, so I'll have to keep that in mind. Might make a little cover for it or something for when the carpet kit goes on there, or with the spare tire cut out, I might just run the carpet up underneath of it. Who knows? But it would be nice if I got it covered up. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, let me stop talking. Just going to do a little bit of work today before taking off for this car show. And then later on, when I get back home, I'll tackle it a little bit more. Alright, so still, I guess, wiring related, but trying to get the Terminator X mounted so I can start putting this or connecting everything. So had a little design made up, a little CAD design. So in theory, I think I'm going to drill a hole in this right here. I need to put a rib nut there and have one bolt, put like a piece of sheet metal holding that into place. And then eventually, once that's in place, I'll have the bolts down here that hold the glove box on. Probably have a couple bolts there. I think there's a spot for at least 2, maybe 3. Yeah, it'll be wide enough for 3. This thing's pretty light, so it should hold it. If not, I'll reinforce it somehow. But yeah, I think just a little platform like that, and have the ECU bolt up to the bottom of it. And since it's a little bit lower than the dash, there's a little curve in there. And I was like, I could get a flat piece of metal, but I've had this thing sitting around for a while, and I think it might be time to put it to use. Was a rear lower quarter from the Elco. So I think I just might cut this out, make this my piece that goes on there. It's got a nice bow to it, so how one side sits lower than the other. It should slide in there perfectly. So I think when I cut it out, this will be towards the front, this will be towards the rear, and I'll just cut it out. Have a little template of the thing traced out, kind of hard to see, but it'll be like that. Then I'll cut it down to size and drill some holes. Well, I won't drill the top ones yet, just because the dash isn't all the way in, but it'll be pretty close to where it needs to go, and I'll get that mocked up. But yeah, it's just, yeah, could have used that at one point, but I think it's gonna serve another purpose for this build. But yeah, let me get that cut up. I'll get it roughed into place, and we'll go from there. Alright, so that used to be a rear quarter, but got it cut down. Did already test fit it, but I'll do it again. So this should fit. Of course, I need a little bit of trim and clean it up a little bit, but I'm thinking right there. And I think it'll be good. So that's gonna be the mount for the Terminator X, the ECU. So yeah, get this all cleaned up and just multi-purpose. So yeah, get the edges all cleaned up. I think I need to trim back there just a little bit, but we'll make it work. All right, so it's not pretty, but eventually I'll think about wrapping it in a carpet or just some type of material to blend in under the dash, in between the dash and the carpet. So we'll wrap it. Did end up cutting it kind of at the angle, so might put some spacers or just a washer between those top ones where the gap is. But I wanted it, didn't want it angled up as much if I would have mounted it up here. So then I'd have put the wires down at an angle, and if you looked under there close enough, you probably would have saw them hanging. So if I mount them flatter this way, they're going to be coming straight back. So that's why I did that. If I did it too far back, they would have been pressed up against the firewall and everything. So that's why I kind of split the difference. I did cut it down here so that whenever all the plugs are in, if I do need to route them up or anything, I can bend them up or just straight back. So did trim that down a little bit, left it a little long on both sides. I think I'll put rib nuts in here, so that way I don't have to worry about getting behind it and trying to fish a bolt through or bolting a nut through. So these will probably be rib nuts in here. Figure out what size I have sitting around and what size works in here. The front part, like I said, that'll pretty much stay the same. Eventually, once I figure out the location for the 3 mounts, I'll get all those drilled out and we'll call it good. Just have to drill a hole back here and a hole on the tab. Might be a little dark, but I'll drill a hole here and probably put a rib nut in there also, and then just put one bolt through there. So that's the plans with that. No, I kind of got a little sidetracked, but it happens with these things. So it's getting later in the day, so no more playing with power tools. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That mount will be there. Like I said, I'll cover it in probably the same stuff the dash is in the Elco, just some black fabric. Kind of looks like carpet, but it's not. But yeah, once this is all wrapped, it'll blend in. Like I said, you won't even see it unless you go up under the car and try to really look for it. But that's going to be there. Like I said, that brown Monte Carlo in the Kings of Colorado video, it had a similar dash to what I was, or stereo or touchscreen that I was looking at. I was looking at the dual single DIN with the floating screen. I think he had the 10-inch. It's pretty big, so I'm not sure what size I'm gonna go with just yet, but it was nice to see another car with it. How it looked in it. Looked pretty good, but it's getting later in the day. You gotta love that view, even if it's not of the mountains just yet. But yeah, I got some nice sunsets out here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna call it a day working on the Monty. I'll come out tomorrow. I'll be on it heavy this week. Just try to get the first start up, hopefully. Just need to get some terminals for all back here. Get some terminals for that. Wire up the fuel pump. Get some gas for it. Wire up the fans, the relay. Need to call Holly and see if they recommend plugging into this wire or not. Like I said, one book says one thing, the other book says another thing, so I'm not sure if they meant like the actual ignition coil, don't plug that into, or just the coil wire. So I'm gonna call Holly, see what they say. If they say it's okay, I'm gonna go for it. If not, I'm gonna try to find a different 12-volt switch wire for it. So we'll see about that. What else? Yeah, my buddy, he hit me, or he called me the other day about the headlight bezels, brackets, buckets, whatever you want to call them. He's done with those. He wants me to look at them, make sure it's okay, meets my approval, but for the most part, they're going to be covered up, so I'll be good with it. And then see if he's done anything with the header or not. If not, get that situated. Be nice to get everything back on, everything buttoned up. I did get some wire loom for these wires in here, but the one I ordered a 1/4 inch. I should have went with the half, but the 1/4 inch might be okay on some smaller wires, like the small wire coming off the alternator, but the larger wires would probably be a little bit bigger. I don't think I need the 1/2 inch, but in between 1/2 and 1/4, but I think just 1/4 and 1/2 is all they sell, so that's probably what I'll go with. Yeah, whatever this size is that I did these with. I don't think that was 1/4. That just seems kind of small, but I'll double check because I know I ordered a bunch of it, and it'll go around this just fine. But I don't know. I don't think it'll go around. It'd be close going around both of them, but I'll figure it out. It should work, but at the same time, I don't know, just being picky. So, get all that cleaned up. Once the turbo and everything comes back, I might tuck this in between the frame rail and the coils, probably. Just have it running right through here eventually. And that engine bay, you gotta love it. Yeah. Yeah, let me start calling it a day. Go let the dog back out. But yeah, it's a pretty nice meet up at the Kings of Colorado. I didn't realize how many local people actually watch the channel. Talking to a few people about their cars and just talking to some people up there and talking about what I had built and everything. And everybody's like, "Oh, the white Monte Carlo?" I was like, "Yeah." So it was nice just seeing a few people actually recognize or watching the progress on the car, telling me how they like it and everything. So next year this car is going to get out a lot. I don't know if I'm going to switch on my schedule or not, or just take some more time off, but this car next year, once all the bugs are worked out, it will be out next year. Definitely will make Kings of Colorado. I was going to trailer it up there, just give everybody a preview of what to look out for next year. But obviously it's not it's not put back together as much as I wanted it to be. If I'd had the turbo header back, and yeah, if I'd had the turbo header back, I probably would have thrown on the nose, throw the hood back on, and figured out some way to get it up there, but it happens. The Elco's still having its problem, so not too sure what exactly is wrong with it. I think some of the wires just came loose, so I'd have to double check that, double check the relays, all the fuses and everything, and see how it goes. But yeah, I'll fire up, no problem. Just I haven't really put it back on the streets since Vandermeer. Started up, drove it into the into the garage. That's about it. But that's not the focus right now. The focus is trying to get at least the first startup on Mona Lisa, aka my '85 Monte Carlo. So the goal is to get the first startup by the end of the month. By Friday, by Saturday, it'd be really nice, but we'll see how it goes. I just got some type of bug in here just flying around. But yeah, that's it. Just some small stuff, run the battery cables. Need to get a couple more terminals. I'll probably do that in the morning. Wake up a little early. Go get some more, I think, M6 bolts to mount this and everything. I think that should be the right size. Nope. Might just be nuts and bolts in there. I don't think I have smaller rib nuts, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it.